This is said to be a 17th century mask that was put on to restrain mentally ill patients. While it's very likely that barbaric methods like this were used in the past, we cannot authenticate this particular one. I think it's highly likely, though, that things like that were used to restrain mentally ill patients, because here we have a scold's bridle dating to the 16th century. This type of contraption was used to silence outspoken women. There would often be a spike or a piece of metal inserted into the woman's mouth to prevent them from lifting their tongue and speaking. It was obviously a form of oppression and humiliation. And I've done a video about this a while ago, so do check it out. But returning to this particular mask and the treatment of mentally ill patients, it is true that throughout history, people who were considered to be a threat to the population, no matter what, were often treated barbarically. So for those poor souls who suffered from psychiatric conditions or any kind of mental health condition were essentially punished. They were imprisoned and restrained like this. And although I've not found any examples of historic masks being used to restrain people, I have found this. This is an early straitjacket, and we can see that it included the restraint over the head. This particular design dates from the 1930s. And here we have replicas of a harness and manacles that were used to restrain patients in the 19th century. Here we have another example of a belt with attached manacles so that people couldn't move their arms around. Here we have a restraint collar. This would have been used in association with manacles, and it was to prevent the patient from biting themselves or others. This is a replica of a 19th century example. As you can see, patients were not treated well. They were seen as idiots, as imbeciles, as less than, and as a result, they were punished and treated as non-human in many examples. Here is a poor man who is restrained to a chair, and this would often take place for many, many hours, if not days. And here we have a surviving 19th century truncheon with a leather strap at the end. This would have been used to whip or beat the patients into submission. Here's another 19th century example. It really is awful.